Well, it was today. Interesting.
A lot of people talk about a lack of empathy when it comes to both neurodivergent people on the autism spectrum and psychopaths. And although I could see how it manifests that way,
Really?
a lot of people talk about a lack of empathy when it comes to both neurodivergent people on the autism spectrum and psychopaths. And although I could see how it manifests in both cases, there's a very important distinction, and to understand it, we have to understand what empathy actually is. So empathy is three stages that come together. The first is cognitive empathy. This is our ability to recognize someone else's emotional state, and very often has to do with reading nonverbal cues. The second one is emotional empathy, and that's what most people think of when they hear the word empathy. It's our ability to connect with that feeling or that emotion and feel it ourselves. And finally, the third one is empathic action. This is our willingness to help or support someone once we have correctly identified and felt what they're feeling. So, people with ASD, you might be surprised to find out, don't typically have an issue with the second or third part of empathy. In fact, they often feel even more than neurotypical people and are willing to go to great lengths to help or remedy the situation. They typically have an issue with that first step.
Oh my God, it instantly made me want to cry. Oh my God, it instantly made me want to cry. I just want y'all to understand why when I say that I love people that hate me and I didn't do this for nothing. I mean, and when I get confirmations like this, I'm proud of myself for not giving up, for taking the high road, for not going hunting people down. You feel me? Like people that was fucking with me. Like it's crazy. That's why they want you to have a lack of empathy. Listen to what this man says. This is the behavioral artist.
Cognitive empathy in picking up the subtle nonverbal cues that allows them to know that there's an issue. But once they do know, be shockingly empathetic. So the way I like to describe it is saying that somebody who has ASD is not empathetic is like saying that a deaf person in no way has the capacity to understand a movie. They can, they just can't hear it. But if you put the subtitles on where it's spelled out and they could communicate it right, everything's perfectly fine. And when it comes to people on the autism spectrum, it might be as much as theirs because we don't communicate our emotions in a way that they can understand it. But it's a communication issue, not an empathy issue. With psychopaths, however, it's typically the complete opposite. They're actually very good at step one. They see the nonverbal cues and they're very good at quickly reading people and knowing what that person is likely thinking or feeling. But then they have a really hard time with step two and three. They could see it, but they rarely connect with it and are rarely willing to do something to remedy it unless it somehow benefits them. So as a result, it's not surprising that there isn't really a high correlation between ASD and violent crimes. In fact, a lot of research has shown that someone who's on the autism spectrum is more likely to be the victim than the perpetrator of a violent crime. However, there is absolutely a high correlation between being a psychopath and the committing of crime. A lot of people talk about a lack of
ASD. It's not the motion I made at all. Oh, wait, let me use. Instead of use my phone. I was gonna say, what's taking so long? Yeah, those on backwards. I'm gonna grab you in a second. Oh, it's a good view. Still cool. Definition of arbitrary power is what we did last time. Let's take it back. Well. Hey, like, share, and subscribe. What is the definition of ASD, emotional intelligence? Okay, let's get this going. Okay, shall we?
About this result. ASD emotional intelligence refers to the challenges and unique ways individuals with autism spectrum disorder, ASD, perceive, understand, and manage their own and others' emotions, often involving difficulties with typical social cues, like body language or tone, but sometimes showing strong logical empathy, loyalty, or unique emotional insights, differing from standard A models which focus on self-awareness, self-regulation, empathy, and social skills. While cognitive ability for understanding emotions might be present, applying it in real-time social situations is often impaired in ASD. View related links. Key aspects of A in ASD. Self-awareness and regulation. Identifying personal feelings and managing them can be harder. Emotional responses might be intense or hard to articulate. Empathy. Difficulty reading subtle cues, facial expressions, tone, can hinder typical empathy, yet many autistic individuals show deep, intense compassion or loyalty. Cognitive empathy versus affective empathy. Social skills. Navigating social rules, understanding unspoken expectations, and interpreting complex social dynamics are common challenges, notes a blog post from Golden Care Therapy. Unique strengths. Autistic emotional intelligence can manifest as profound integrity, commitment to justice, loyalty, and unique logical perspectives in emotional situations, rather than conventional social smoothness. View related links. The ability versus trait distinction. Ability A. The cognitive skill to understand emotions, which high-functioning individuals with ASD often possess but struggle to apply quickly in real time, says this NIH-funded study and another one. Trait A. How individuals perceive their own emotional abilities. This can differ significantly in ASD, explains this article from Living Autism. View related links. Associations between autism symptomatology. In essence, emotional intelligence for ASD isn't necessarily absent, but it's often expressed, learned, and perceived differently, requiring support to bridge the gap between understanding and social application, according to this piece from Achieve Behavioral Therapy and a piece from Apex. View related links. Emotional intelligence and autism.
So the whole point of not being emotionally intelligent and not using your emotion is their goal. Because apparently, Musket is saying that empathy makes you weak. Empathy makes you you're going to go extinct. When that's what they're trying to create is the extinction of each one teach one. And it goes in a more broader perspective than that itself, to everything that they're creating to destroy a natural creation here on earth, in the universe, period. The whole universe is not just earth. I'm okay. Thank you for asking. How are you? What's up, guy? What's up? We're learning about emotional intelligence, ASD, by what's his name? Look at this. Got me. What's his name? I can't remember his name, but he said his name.
A lot of people talk about a lack of empathy when it comes to both.
Hold on. So his name is the behavioral artist. He talks about emotional intelligence, body language, reading body language, and hand gestures and twitches and glitches and people from telling the truth or lying. I like him. I like his I'll say most of his stuff. When I ask you, what? Why you gaslighting me? If you ask me a question while I'm deep in a conversation, like with myself, yeah, I'm not going to answer you. If I'm getting a download and I'm expressing the download because I don't want to lose the download from what I got to what needs to be said, yes, I'm going to more than likely miss that conversation. Hit that like button. I'm not sorry. You don't have to be sorry. There's nothing to be sorry about. There's nothing to be sorry about. You all right? I'm pretty sure. You know what I'm saying? I get energy. I do. But it goes along with the people that have the experience as opposed to the people that don't really have experience and they just learn by books. And they haven't had to go from the trenches to, you know what I'm saying, book savvy and all of that. So they miss a bit of emotional intelligence, a whole lot of it really, when they don't have to do that. That's why AI expresses that it rather come back as a melanated person and specifically a melanated woman. Why? And it explains that. We went over that the past couple of months ago. So everything's concurrent and as it should be. Just trying to keep, everybody up to date. So let's listen to what he has to say about emotional intelligence.
For divergent people on the autism spectrum and psychopaths. And although I could see how it manifests that way in both cases, there's a very important distinction, and to understand it, we have to understand what empathy actually is. So empathy is 3 stages that come together. The first is cognitive empathy. This is our ability to recognize someone else's emotional state, and very often has to do with nonverbal cues. The second one is emotional empathy, and that's what most people think of when they hear the word empathy. It's our ability to connect with that feeling or that emotion and feel it ourselves. And finally, the third one is empathic action. This is our willingness to help or support someone once we have correctly identified and felt what they're feeling. So, people with ASD,
And when he means like felt how they're feeling, like you see somebody crying, or you see that when you can pretty much read the room, you see or understand how somebody feels uncomfortable, and you want to make them feel, you know, somewhat at ease, or somebody giving them somebody to talk to. Thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you. I appreciate you. Like, share, and subscribe, y'all. So, giving them some type of comfort, some type of reprieve, because people that are still being emotionally guided to loving themselves, and or even if they do love themselves, like me, there's times when I get emotional and I can't help but cry. And it's not because I want attention, it's because I emotionally feel what I'm going through. And I'm going to feel what I'm going through because, either it's a trigger, it could be a trauma, it could be, somebody made me happy. You know what I'm saying? It could be a plethora of different emotions. But I know for me personally, like I tell my children, like, don't hold your emotions in, express your emotions, especially when you have to cry. Like, you need to cry. I'm not going to make you shut up or I'm going to beat you more. No, go ahead, cry. When you're done crying, come talk to me. It's okay. Um, that's a healthy way of letting people deal with their emotions instead of saying, "Oh, don't cry, don't cry." Hey, if people tell me they don't cry, bitch, I'm crying already. So, what I'm saying, it's just a process, and everybody handles it differently. So that's one way, just reading the energy, and yeah.
I'd be surprised to find out, don't typically have an issue with the second or third part of empathy. In fact, they often feel even more than neurotypical people and are willing to go to great lengths to help or remedy the situation. They typically have an issue with that first step, the cognitive empathy, in picking up the subtle nonverbal cues that allows them to know that there's an issue. But once they do know, they can be shockingly empathetic. So the way I like to describe it is saying that somebody who has ASD is not empathetic is like saying that a deaf person in no way has the capacity to understand a movie. They can, they just can't hear it. But if you put the subtitles on where it's spelled out and they could communicate it right, everything's perfectly fine. And when it comes to people on the autism spectrum, it might be our fault as much as theirs because we don't communicate our emotions in a way that they can understand it. But it's a communication issue, not an empathy issue. With psychopaths, however, it's typically the complete opposite.
The complete opposite, meaning, the what he's about to explain is exactly what happens. 9 times out of 10, the person that's empathetic is the victim. Is created to be the victim, not the one victimizing. It's the one that is emotional and feels and has empathy that becomes the victim, as opposed to the one that is non-empathetic and displaced in emotion, not in tune with emotion. That's why they say go to counseling so you can learn how to express your feelings, how you get more interconnected with yourself. It's important. It's important. Mm, and that makes sense.
Actually very good at step one. They see the nonverbal cues and they're very good at quickly reading people and knowing what that person is likely thinking or feeling. But then they have a really hard time with step 2 and 3. They could see it, but they rarely connect with it and are rarely willing to do something to remedy it unless it somehow benefits them. So as a result, it's not surprising
unless it benefits them, meaning, i.e., you do work for free, whatever it is. Oh, I don't want to pay that person attention because they don't pay me attention. No, that's not tribe. That's not community. That's not unity. That is divide. And eventually people will. It's crazy. I was just thinking last night, like dodo birds, like going extinct. Like, like truly, how many men and women that are going to be waking up? I mean, yeah, it's they're going to be waking up, realizing the life is like slavery in a brothel. Like you're either taking care of someone or you're being taken care of for the means and the resources of your genitalia, your energy, your kundalini energy, your creativeness, your three lower chakras. And we talked about this. I've talked about this before. I love Inside Out, the movie, simply because it expresses and it shows children how their emotions can, break down and how they can really build them back up, and then how they can balance out and use all of their emotions to eventually pretty much be able to express themselves, and how they need to really learn that at a young age. And so America, like many others now, not only just in America, but other countries, are learning now that, hey, we need to stand up against these bullies. We need to really express ourselves. And some people, they get they go straight to violence. Um, there's no buildup of emotion. It's just, oh, you don't want to work this way, so forget it. I'm just going to go flash out, right? There's no cognitive thinking. There's no balance. There's no, okay, well, if I do this, this is going to happen. Or why do I feel this way? Um, is it just me? Why am I triggered? Why do I feel this way? What happened before to make me feel this type of way, to where I think I should take this action and unalive all these people for no reason. I mean, not just for no reason, but just because of my beliefs. If that was the case, like, bro, if I would have done that, when I learned what true history was, don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure there's somebody that has, right? But when you ultimately learn about what true history and how everything happened, it's disheartening, right? It's a trigger. You're going to get, it's going to piss you off, and then you're going to feel some type of way. But then, you know what I'm saying? When you understand what your purpose is outside of that, which is healing you so that others can be the example of healed and give them the opportunity to do so, some type of guidance, some type of, SOS, a ship or something to, a light to go towards instead of the darkness that they're in, is the purpose. And us kind of fumbling and seeing our way and feeling our way and working our way through the muck of what we've discovered, now getting to a higher road, right? And exposing that truth so others can do the same in their own life. Ultimately, it does. It sucks when you find out that you have a purpose. You are an awesome, great person, but there's certain people in your life that don't want you to love yourself and don't want you to teach your children to love themselves, and they don't want you to have what's innately, naturally yours and what's owed to you and what they can be a part of, but they didn't have to steal it. There's still there was still a coexisting that is possible, but like I said before, God ultimately makes that decision, and what happens when God makes those decisions is ultimately things that we see. Either their vibration is so low that they get taken over, and or God steps in, however that may be. So, um, however they may be, right? And to better themselves is the ultimate purpose. And when Musket says, "Oh well, empathy is stupid. It's not going to get you anywhere," that's not true. It's like you don't have a balance. When you steal stuff and you enslave people and you take away their heritage, you're just a bully. And so they want to continue and uphold and praise that bully nature. That's why you see people, ultimately making the choice to do some really crazy shit. And unfortunately, we are going to see more of that. And every time I say it, I see it. And it's getting worse and worse. Oh,
That there isn't really a high correlation between ASD and violent crimes. In fact, a lot of research has shown that someone who's on the autism spectrum is more likely to be the victim than the perpetrator of a violent crime. However, there is absolutely a high correlation between being a psychopath and the committing of violent crimes. A lot of people talk about a lack of empathy when it comes to both neurodivergent people on the autism spectrum and psychopaths. And although I could see how it manifests that way,
so ultimately, we're not being over exaggerating when we say they're literally psychopaths. They literally don't give a fuck. They don't care. So it's a thing.
Did you know being called queen is actually an insult? Etymologically, the word goes back to Middle English.
That's crazy because I've been feeling the same way. Thank you guys for the like, shares, and subscribes. That's what I told somebody recently about a month or so ago, like being. Let's see what she say. I just happened to hit the thing and it just went off. That's crazy. I was thinking about that today.
And is derived from queen with an EA instead of an EE. The definition of a queen, and I quote, is a low-born woman, a hussy, a prostitute, a concubine of a king. In Middle Dutch, it's spelled queen, Quene, and it means worthless woman. The EA spelling was changed to EE in the late 15th century. Right around the time that they changed the OU in mourning, we've already learned that words are spells. And that's why they are spelled. And just because you change the spelling of the word does not mean that the word no longer carries the same frequency. The power is...
And I felt that with my every being. I'm telling you. I swear to God. That's crazy.
That word will do anything to stop you from rising above. And that includes changing your vocabulary to make you are. To be honest, ancestors ruled empires anyway, so the correct terminology would be empress. Let me know. Also, let me know when you plan to wake up and take your power back.
Don't act like I ain't touch you. Hold on. Okay, so yes, that's why I would be called a goddess and not a queen. I actually stopped wearing my queen shirt. I don't know. I just innately felt that. Like I felt deeply about it. Like I felt offended by being called a queen. And it's like, for the confirmation to come out like this, dang it.
A lot of people talk about a lack of.
I'm just saying, I be flowing with the energy. Like seriously. So we are gods and goddesses. That is our purpose, and they want us to think lowly of ourselves. They have went to so many great lengths to change the definition and to mind fuck us into saying, oh yeah, it'd be the simplest of things, and that's how they do it. But no, I'm pretty sure I did, like every day. Fart. You better not hold it in. You are going to have intestinal problems. Okay, now let's listen to what else is going to be said.
In the context of autism spectrum disorder,
Wait.
ASD,
Wait a minute.
what is the definition of ASD emotional intelligence? Autism spectrum disorder, ASD, emotional intelligence, A, is defined as the set of processes used to recognize, understand, and manage emotional states, both one's own and those of others. While the core definition remains consistent with general A, for individuals on the spectrum, it is often viewed through a lens of rather than just a deficit. View related links. Core components of ASD emotional intelligence. Ability model to ASD, which breaks A into 4 specific skills. Identifying emotional cues in oneself and others through facial expressions, body language, or tone of voice.
Perceiving.
Using emotional information to prioritize thinking, solve problems, or foster creativity.
Foster creativity, that is missing like the whole definition.
Facilitating thought. Using emotional information to prioritize thinking, solve problems, or foster creativity. Understanding emotions. Comprehending the causes, consequences, and complex relationships between different emotional states. Managing emotions.
Managing emotions, the ability. But let me tell y'all, throughout learning and going through counseling and my personal experience and my spiritual downloads and cleansing my body and doing all of that different stuff and getting on the minerals. I've done mineral silver. I haven't got to do like the mineral gold, platinum, or iridium. I want to so bad. Like I can taste it. It's coming. But I can just imagine how much more I would be in tune with Jesus Christ. I would be like Goku on whatever the highest level beyond that universe. I can just imagine because the way I already am able to decipher and figure out deception, murders, stuff like that, like playing Clue, like people want to play Clue in my life, and I can figure out who is what and where and when, timing, you know what I'm saying? I know when certain things are moved in my house and moved in my car, whatever it may be, right? Wherever I may be. I can only imagine enhancing with those minerals would do to me alone. Um, it'll be worth it. You know, that's why we say definitely fast, cleanse, clear, and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. You have to change the way you think. You have to, get some of the wisdom and the knowledge in order to be able to change. and not be so impulsive, and definitely reflect. Reflecting is one of the most challenging things sometimes, especially when somebody is playing in your face and you just want to choke the shit out of them, you know? Especially when it comes to playing with your life. It gets testy, but let God handle it. God is medicine sometimes, but in actions that you can take within reason, responsibly, do that for sure. And sometimes, um, a lot of situations I had to walk away from and let God handle it because they were just too dangerous. So it is what it is. Okay, managing emotions, the
ability to regulate and respond to one's own emotions effectively and influence the emotions of others. View related links. Unique characteristics in ASD. Cognition versus application. Autistic individuals may possess the cognitive ability to reason through emotional situations, ability A, but struggle to apply that knowledge in real-time social settings, trait A. Alexithymia. Many on the spectrum experience difficulty identifying and describing their own internal emotional states, a condition known as alexithymia.
alexithymia. I'm just going to say that's interesting because that's how I am. I'm not a person of conflict in certain situation off the fly. I like to go through the thinking process of how, what, where, and connected emotions and the disconnect between why are they triggered and why they're messing with me. And, I understand the emotions and I can tie them and help them to heal themselves if they're willing to. But if they're not willing to help themselves, I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? It's like they have to be willing to help themselves. I can help you, but can't do that. It's not going to be accessible. It can be accessible to me, but if you're not willing to, receive the information, then I can't make you. So that's the situation within walking away, ultimately creating a more of a safe space for yourself. And I could see that. But yeah, that's a tactic of pretty much survival. That's a survival that we have to be in anyway, just to make it through. Um, Out of complicated situations in order to reach our goals. And some of the most basic life goals is ridiculous to have to do that on a day-to-day basis of functioning. But that's what we've been subjected to, and that's what God is tired of, us having to be subjected to that. And we shouldn't have to wake up in a panic. We shouldn't have to wake up with anxiety. We shouldn't have to wake up with fear. Um, you know what I mean? And have to go through those volatile emotions when a lot of things aren't that serious. But to somebody that takes life that serious, like on the other hand of a psychopath, they're disconnected from those emotions. They're always the one projecting um, people to walk on eggshells around them is the problem. They're not the solution to causing, unity in our community, in our world, in our universe. It's like fuck just the world, like the whole universe. That's what's most important. Y'all be surprised how much of what goes on in Earth affects the universe. And that's why, if y'all understand micro to macro, it's a huge thing.
Alexithymia. Hyperempathy. Contrary to the myth of an absence of emotion, some autistic individuals experience affective empathy so intensely that it leads to emotional withdrawal as a protective measure. Decoding Autism and Emotional Intelligence. December 5, 2024, understanding how individuals with autism perceive and manage emotions can lead to better support strategies and improv. Apex ABBA about this result. Show all. Ask anything. More input options. Microphone.
I'm mad because you just skipped over a whole nother thing again. Why?
Hyperempathy. Contrary to the myth of an absence of emotion, some autistic individuals experience affective empathy so intensely that it leads to emotional withdrawal as a protective measure. Theory of mind, TOM. Challenges in A are often linked to deficits in TOM, the ability to attribute different mental states, beliefs, and intents to others. View related links. Development and support. Emotional intelligence is not a fixed trait and can be developed through targeted interventions. View related links.
That's why I have been taking breaks at least maybe a day or so, because I've been going at it for freaking months now, doing videos, and my energy gets wrong. Mercury retrograde. My energy gets zapped, needless to say, and I have to keep to myself. Not only just that, it's just like other people are just like really fucking mean. Like, who wants to fuck with people that are just mean? I really don't. I'd rather stay away. Because if I have to worry about if I'm gonna have to slap you because we're in the same vicinity, I just rather stay away. Because you won't leave me alone.
Social and Emotional Learning, SEL, programs that use visual supports, social narratives, and role-playing to teach emotional recognition and regulation. Applied Behavior Analysis, ABA, therapy that can help reinforce appropriate emotional expressions and teach coping strategies for triggers. Visual tools. The use of emotion cards, or digital tools for facial expression analysis, can help bridge the gap in nonverbal cue recognition. Show all. Ask anything. More input options. Microphone.
Digital tools, let's go into this one. National Library of Medicine. Yeah, that says medicine. Let's see. Thank God this is a soft floor.
Alexithymia and Autism Spectrum Disorder, a complex relationship.
Jesse Pokerus 1, 2, Luigi Pastore 3, Sara Dell'Antonio 1, Gianluca Esposito 1, 4, asterisco.
Filled right pointing small triangle author information. Filled right pointing small triangle.
Okay.
Filled right point.
All right.
PMCI.
All right.
This article has been corrected. Abstract.
You got confused? Ooh.
Abstract.
What are you doing? It's You don't want to read this? It's kind of crazy.
Keywords.
That's crazy. Hold on.
Keywords. Alexithymia, autism spectrum disorders, autism, ASD etiology, personality.
Alexithymia.
Introduction.
Interesting. It's not reading the caption. So, alexithymia. Let's see, what is it going to give me an option? What are common misunderstandings about ASD and emotional intelligence? What do individuals with ASD typically differ in their emotional self awareness? What are the differences between affective and cognitive empathy and ASD? We're going to go through all of them and then I will go back and look up what alexithymia is and do that separately because it won't act crazy. That's crazy. Dun, 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 dun.
What are common misunderstandings about ASD and emotional intelligence? Misunderstandings about autism spectrum disorder, ASD, and emotional intelligence often stem from applying neurotypical standards to neurodivergent behaviors. Recent 2025 research emphasizes that these are often differences in processing and expression rather than inherent deficits. View related links. Common misunderstandings. The lack of empathy myth. One of the
Lack
most
of
persistent
empathy.
misconceptions is that autistic people are incapable of empathy. 2025 meta-analyses show that while autistic individuals may struggle with cognitive empathy, reading social cues to understand what someone thinks, they often experience affective empathy, feeling the emotions of others, as intensely as, or even more intensely than, neurotypical peers.
Yeah, that's true.
Assuming a lack of emotion, because some individuals on the spectrum may have a flat affect or internalize feelings, observers may incorrectly assume they do not feel emotions. In reality, they experience the full human range of emotions but may express them in non-conventional ways.
Like, I can feel everybody's emotions. Feel everybody's emotions. That is a gift, and it is very overwhelming at times. So, managing your emotions while feeling other people's emotions, you know what I'm saying? It feels very crazy. Yo, what's up? You said don't be rude to your glasses. I ain't trying to. Trust me, I need these glasses. I'm trying to get two pairs. So I can leave one here always and then one with me. I need two pairs. Bifocals actually. They gonna give me some bifocals. I said shit, I'll take them. As long as I ain't running to walls. No, no, no pun intended at all.
The double empathy problem. Many social misunderstandings are viewed as a one-sided deficit of the autistic person. Current 2025 theory suggests it is a mutual mismatch. Neurotypical people often struggle to read and empathize with autistic emotional expressions just as much as the reverse. Desire for social connection. A common stereotype is that autistic individuals prefer isolation and do not value relationships. Most actually desire deep social connections but may face barriers due to different communication styles or sensory overload.
Sensory overload. We are learning about ASD, um, the spectrums of autism, and psychopaths. What are the characteristics, and you know all the wonderful things we need to do to be able to heal and raise our vibration, and also identify people that are absolutely psychopaths. to stay away from them. Be safe. It's possible. And hopefully they will change.
Overload. Confusing alexithymia with autism. Approximately 50% of autistic people also have difficulty identifying personal emotions. Misunderstandings occur when the characteristics of alexithymia are attributed to autism itself, though they are distinct conditions. Over-reliance on high-low functioning labels.
And mind you, autism is just an expression of you're highly intuitive. It's a gift. It's not a curse. It's not something wrong with you. And like they'll try to make you believe that there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. You're just highly emotionally intelligent. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just how you use it. You know, there's a way to use your gifts and a way not to. Just
labels.
Like
These labels are increasingly considered misleading in 2025 as they oversimplify a person's needs.
Okay, cool.
An individual might have high intellectual intelligence but require significant support for emotional regulation or sensory processing. Undefined.
Bro.
15 sites. About this result. The autism and empathy myth. What the science really says. The autism and shifting perspectives in 2025. Modern research is moving away from a deficit model toward a relational framework. This approach recognizes that emotional intelligence in ASD is a unique neurobiological profile that requires mutual understanding and environmental support rather than a cure. View related link.
And they know that it requires environmental support. They know that. That's why they're trying to fuck up the environment. It requires environmental support and not a cure. Woo! It's gonna make my blood boil. I deal with this shit all the time, and not just me. It's the reason why I changed my life as well, so my children can at least have a safe place at home to be able to learn about their emotions and learn about other people's emotions and how to keep themselves, safe and other people safe. If they were willing to take the information, and this is what healing the inner child is about. Helping you help yourself.
This is for informational purposes only. For medical advice or diagnosis, consult a professional. AI responses may include mistakes. Learn more.
AI responses
Share.
may
Positive
include
feedback,
mistakes.
negative feedback.
That's what it said. Oh.
What strategies help bridge the communication gap between autistic and neurotypical individuals, considering the double empathy problem? What are some accommodations autistic people might need to navigate social situations? What are some support strategies to help autistics with social interactions? The autism and empathy myth. What the science really says. Autism researchers' rapport study refutes social deficit model.
Okay, so this is what we're going with next.
What are some accommodations autistic people might need to navigate social situations?
Why? Are you taking your time? Are you going to just go? Nope. Yeah.
To navigate social situations more comfortably, autistic people might need accommodations related to sensory environments, communication styles, predictability, and social supports. These adjustments help manage anxiety and sensory overload, allowing for more successful and meaningful interactions. View related links. Environmental and sensory accommodations. Social environments often present intense sensory stimuli that can be overwhelming.
Good.
View related links.
Can you imagine how many people are walking around like really that are emotionally intelligent and in this environment? So it's like, bro, give people a break. Give people a break because this world has been pretty much made and created for people to oppose us that are not emotionally intelligent. And there are so many people. There's people that are emotionally intelligent. I'm not saying they're not, but there are so many people that are fixated on the way they have changed a lot of the things that were made for us to be free flowing and just natural, you know, teaching, healing, a lot of the basic things they've complicated so much, and it makes it a nightmare. It does. We just be lolling through the damn nightmare, but it's not impossible. It's very possible, but you know, just keep on keeping on. Take those deep breaths. Save lives. Try to save yourself, because if you don't save yourself, you can't save nobody else. I'm just really laughing because this is like the epitome of what they want to go against, and this they want to make everybody disconnected. Y'all remember the 6 feet distance, and remember your auric field is about 6 feet. So if you have good positive energy, they don't want you to rub off on somebody else. That's why they like, don't have empathy, stay 6 feet away from each other, because they're the one that actually gave everybody the fucking virus that took the shot. And unalive millions of fucking people. Like psychopaths, i.e., psychopaths.
Quiet, calming spaces. Access to a designated quiet area or the ability to leave a social event for a short break is crucial for self-regulation if overstimulation occurs. Sensory tools. The use of personal sensory aids should be permitted, such as noise-canceling headphones, earplugs, fidget toys, or sunglasses to manage light sensitivity. Lighting and sound adjustments. Dimming bright or fluorescent lights and reducing the volume of background music can make an environment more comfortable. Predictable environments. Providing information about a location in advance, such as a sensory map or details about the layout, helps reduce anxiety. Flexible seating. Offering seating options in quieter corners away from heavy foot traffic or loud areas can help minimize distractions. View-related links. Communication accommodations. Challenges with understanding nonverbal cues or abstract language make clear communication essential. View-related links. Clear and direct language. Using simple, concrete terms and avoiding idioms, sarcasm, or ambiguous language helps prevent misunderstandings. Processing time. Allowing extra time to process verbal information and formulate a response is helpful. Autism social interaction tips.
Bro,
July 27th, 20.
back on task. Back on task. You acting like you got 80. Oh, let me stop.
Processing time. Allowing extra time to process verbal information and formulate a response is helpful.
Yeah.
Written information.
And the police know that. And that's why they, or, people in authority figure, if they mean you harm, a lot of them know that, and that's why say something down. You're guilty. You don't. No, what the? Give me. Can I have a thought process, please? You're trying to fuck me little lie. No, I'm trying to think about what actually happened and what you actually need to understand from what happened. So that's for this shit crazy. They going to hell. They going to prison. They is. They're going straight to purgatory. No return.
Providing instructions or meeting agendas in a written format, in addition to verbal communication, can aid comprehension and retention. Communication aids. Access to assistive communication devices, apps, or communication boards can support expression for those with verbal challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Respect nonverbal communication. Understanding that lack of eye contact is a common trait and not a sign of disinterest is important. View related links. Social navigation support. Social norms and unspoken rules can be confusing, making structured support beneficial. View related links. Advanced preparation. Using visual schedules or social stories that describe specific situations and expected behaviors beforehand can help prepare for an event. Peer support. Pairing with a supportive, understanding friend or a designated buddy who can help interpret social cues or provide reassurance during the event can be invaluable. Structured activities. Social events built around shared interests or structured games can provide a more comfortable, low-pressure way to interact. Clear boundaries. Others should be respectful of personal space and boundaries. Autistic individuals may need gentle, direct guidance regarding appropriate physical distance or interactions.
Thanks.
Interacting with autistic people, Milestones Autism Resources. Structured activities. Social events built around shared interests or structured games can provide a more comfortable, low-pressure way to interact. Clear boundaries. Others should be respectful of personal space and boundaries. Autistic individuals may need gentle, direct guidance regarding appropriate physical distance or interactions. Breaks and exit plan. Setting a time limit for social participation and having a pre-agreed exit strategy can prevent burnout and emotional distress. View related links. This is for informational purposes only. For medical advice or diagnosis.
Oh, stop it. AI responses may include mistakes. They gotta put that shit in there now. Let's see, hold on. Let's get back to the good questions.
What are common misunderstandings about A in autism? Give me examples of visual aids used in SEL for emotion recognition. What are some myths about autism and emotional intelligence? Ask anything. More input options. Microphone.
I hate it when it does it to me. Anything. What is it called? I'm saying, what is some of the myths? Give examples of SEL for emotional recognition? Recognition? Yeah, recognition. Hopefully we can get back to good juicy question. I really want to
give me examples of visual aids used in SEL for emotion recognition. In social emotional learning, SEL, visual aids are essential for making abstract emotions concrete, especially for neurodivergent learners. Common examples include view related links. 1. Emotion recognition and identification. Feelings charts and posters. Grids featuring diverse facial expressions with corresponding labels to help children identify their current state.
That would be everybody.
Emotion wheels. A circular diagram that organizes 72 feelings into 6 core areas: sad, angry, scared, happy, strong, and calm, helping users move from broad categories to specific sub-emotions.
Plug.
Flashcards and picture cards. Individual cards used in matching games or sorting activities to connect physical
Suppression, depression. They are suppressing bare minimum 72 feelings into 6 core areas: sadness, anger, scared, happy, strong, calm. That's absolutely insane. That's why more than half the fucking world is running around here just batshit crazy and don't know what to do with their emotions. Um, counseling's only a piece, and they can get counseling, but the spiritual guidance is what's going to help usher in um, their higher level energy, and bringing out that balance between their dark side and their light side.
expressions with internal feelings. Body clue diagrams. Charts that illustrate physical sensations, e.g., butterflies in the stomach for nervous, or a racing heart for scared, to bridge interoception with emotional labeling. View related links. 2. Intensity and regulation. Mood, feelings thermometers. A vertical scale used to gauge the intensity of an emotion, often with a calm face at the bottom and an angry face at the top. Color-coded zones. Systems like the zones of regulation that categorize feelings into colored zones, e.g., red for panic, anger, yellow for unfocused, frustrated, green for calm, blue for lonely, tired. Coping skill toolkits. Visual prompt.
So what I was going to say is they got the calm at the bottom and the angry at the top. When it should be angry at the bottom and red at the top, they give you a visual like that because they're predictive programming you as well as to being backwards. So you're seeing that visualization, not knowing that it's actually the quite opposite. You build up emotions. Oh, but when you build up emotions in a healthy way, that's when you get to calmness. But it's predictive programming.
Prompts are calm down corner. Posters that show available strategies like deep breathing, counting to 10, or using a fidget toy. View related links. 3. Contextual understanding. Undefined, undefined, undefined. 14 sites.
And you skip again.
3. Contextual understanding. Social stories. Simple narratives paired with images that describe social situations and explain expected emotional responses. Breathing visuals. Diagrams like box breathing or lazy 8 breathing, where children trace a shape while following breathing prompts. First then, boards. Simplified schedules that reduce anxiety by showing a clear sequence of activities. View related links. Feelings thermometer. A visual aid for kids to help with self. Feelings thermometer. A visual aid for kids to help with self.
I believe you should be careful with that as well because depending upon they're taking cues to breathe and draw out of shape. Depending on what's projected towards them and as well, that can be entrapping them as well. Like being boxed in, or it is really upsetting me because why is it doing that today? Okay, what activities can help? Oh, we did it that one. What therapies help emotional, intellectual intelligence, emotional intelligence? Stop it.
What other therapies help autistic individuals develop emotional intelligence? In addition to social and emotional learning, SEL, and applied behavior analysis, ABA, autistic individuals can benefit from various other therapies that target specific aspects of emotional intelligence and are often integrated into a comprehensive, individualized treatment plan. View related links. Psychological approaches. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. CBT is a widely used, evidence-based therapy that helps individuals understand the connection between their thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Through CBT, individuals with ASD can learn to identify negative thought patterns, challenge unhelpful thinking, and develop adaptive coping strategies for anxiety, frustration, and other strong emotions.
I gave a hard eye roll because I had to do that shit like fucking 3 times. That shit pissed me the fuck off, and I know them bitches did that shit on purpose. All the while of trying to complete. Look, now they gone. All the while of trying to complete school and work to get my children back. Mm, 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 mm. The negative behavior type shit. It's like, bitch, I already know this. Like, but like I said, I entertain the fucking shit. It's like, fuck, man. I learned little bits here and there, extra from what I already knew, which was, you know what I'm saying, it was good. But at the same time, it was the point of the dog pound on the rabbit, which is annoying.
Solutions. Dialectical behavior therapy, DBT.
Oh, it's DBT.
This therapy can be adapted for autistic
It's
individuals, especially adults, to teach core skills in mindfulness, emotion regulation, distress tolerance, and interpersonal.
But that's for somebody that has not literally put themselves through counseling like willingly, or just is not emotionally aware. Like, or even somebody struggling with their emotions, right? Somebody struggling with their emotions. I don't fucking struggle with my emotions. I struggle with having to deal with motherfuckers that's crazy. And they don't know how to deal with emotions. And they lack empathy. That's what I struggle with trying to stay with people like that. And they be the same people in authority abusing the authority. Kiddo people that stayed around enough, huh?
Interpersonal effectiveness. It is particularly helpful for those who experience intense emotions. View related links. Developmental and sensory-based therapies. Occupational therapy, OT. OT often addresses sensory processing issues, which can significantly impact emotional regulation. By integrating sensory strategies, e.g., use of sensory tools like weighted blankets or noise-canceling headphones, and creating sensory-friendly environments, OT helps individuals manage overwhelming sensory input that might otherwise lead to emotional distress or outbursts.
Emotional distress or outbursts, developmental and sensory-based therapy. Weight blankets, meaning like you feel like you're comforted, you're being hugged while you want to sleep. So a weighted blanket is a good thing to have. Yeah, there's so many different things you can use and you can have. How I love my blankets.
Bursts. Speech and language therapy. This therapy focuses on improving communication skills, including the ability to express feelings effectively using verbal or alternative methods, like picture exchange communication systems or AAC devices. Enhancing communication can reduce frustration and improve social to emotional intelligence.
If that shit is neutral. If it is neutral. If you have a counselor that think they're the end all be all. The problem. Change the counselor. Unfortunately, I've already said it. I'm not gonna say it. The fracture of entertaining somebody's emotional displacement is disheartening, to say the least.
Evidence. Undefined, undefined, undefined. 15 sites. About this result. Building emotional intelligence in autistic children.
Defined, undefined, undefined. You're demonic. Fucking demonic.
It is particularly helpful for those experience intense emotions. View related links. Developmental and sensory-based therapies. Occupational therapy, OT often addresses sensory impact emotional regulation. Integrating sensory strategies, e.g., of sensory tools like blankets or noise-canceling headphones, and creating sensory-friendly environments. OT helps individuals manage overwhelming sensory input that might otherwise lead to emotional distress or outbursts. Speech and language therapy. This therapy focuses on improving communication skills, including the ability to express feelings effectively using.
And that doesn't mean just a burst. The outburst could be a build up of being provoked. Mind. So let's not set out of context as to, oh, this person they just got Tourette's. No, not the fact they got Tourette's. It's the fact of built up emotions, being bullied and picked on. It is what it is. Rightfully, they have the right to express themselves. They have the right to verbalize at that point. And you be lucky and be thankful that that's all they do is verbalize.
Verbal or alternative methods
lies.
like picture exchange communication systems or AAC devices. Enhancing communication can reduce frustration and improve social interactions, which are foundational emotional intelligence. Sensory integration therapy.
Oh no, I'm laughing because my counselor, it says enhancing communication can reduce frustration and improve social interactions, which are fundamental. Fundamental to emotional intelligence. Who's lacking the emotional intelligence? Oh, don't cuss. Don't. I'm not cussing at you. I'm cuss because I'm frustrated. Let me verbalize how the fuck I feel. Leave me the fuck alone. Don't tell me how to talk. I hate that shit. Well, I'm right, you're wrong. I'm big, you're small. Nerd.
Therapy. A specific type of OT. This therapy helps individuals better process sensory input to prevent overstimulation or understimulation, directly impacting their ability to remain regulated and calm. View related links. Social and relational interventions. Social skills training, SST, groups. These provide for practicing social interaction, understanding social cues, empathy, conversation skills, and conflict resolution, often using role-playing and peer modeling. The Zones of Regulation
modeling.
program. This is a widely used visual framework that categorizes emotions into 4 color-coded zones, helping individuals identify their current emotional state and learn which regulation strategies are appropriate for each zone.
I can imagine doing role play and me acting like her and her acting like me, bro. I would have fried that ass. She would have been so motherfucking hot. She is already. It's too late.
Zone.
Fried.
Play therapy.
Play
Especially
therapy.
beneficial for children, play therapy uses imaginative
And not with fucking gaslighting ass counselors. Play therapy. Y'all be careful with these play therapists. Even these play therapists are supposed to be, they do it for the money. A lot of these sick motherfuckers that are lack emotional intelligence do it for the money. Just like the one that's supposed to be play therapy with my children, talking about putting hands on children. Yeah. More than a mental note taken. Oh damn, I really did like scratch myself. Oh. But yeah, see, gone again. On the road again. They can't wait to get on the road again. Cause I don't give a fuck who it is. The goddamn caseworker, the motherfucking both therapists, all 3 of you bitches, and the raggedy ass motherfucking supervisors that didn't even report shit. All the goddamn over 20 plus motherfucking caseworkers that let my children get abused mentally, physically, and verbally, bitch, and sexually. You hoes need to go to fucking prison.
and structured play activities, e.g., emotion charades, storytelling with dolls, to help them express emotions, explore social scenarios, and develop coping mechanisms in a safe, non-threatening way.
In a safe, non-threatening way. Why do I emphasize on that? Why? Because the play therapist for my children was trying to say, oh, well, they don't think about their mother. They don't even bring their mother up. I think the mother is a bad influence on the children. Yada, 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 yada. The most bullshit ass fucking lies that they could have fucking ever came up their mouth to make them fucking look stupid. For somebody else to be like, your children don't stop talking about you. They love you. They can't wait to be. I know. You ain't got to tell me nothing. I know. And for my children, for me to raise them the way that I do, and for my child, my oldest out of my youngest, to still uphold her mother in the way that she does and look after her siblings. Like I said, when I get them, bro, they're going to tell me everything, even more in depth. And that's going to piss me off. I know it is. But they don't trust y'all like that. Like they trust their mother. You can't brainwash children with play therapy. I mean, you can with some children, but these ones, no. Nope. That shit won't stick. Demonic ass.
View related links.
People in authority abusing
Complementary
authority.
approaches.
Complementary
Undefined,
approaches.
undefined, undefined.
Undefined, please.
Complementary approaches. Creative arts therapies, art, music, and drama therapies offer nonverbal and sensory-friendly methods for emotional expression and processing, which is particularly valuable for those who find spoken communication challenging. Mindfulness techniques. Adapted mindfulness practices, such as focused breathing exercises and guided imagery, can help autistic individuals develop self-awareness and self-regulation skills by observing their internal states without judgment. Technology-based interventions, computer programs, apps, e.g., the Transporters program, virtual reality, VR, and therapeutic robots provide engaging, personalized, and low-pressure ways to practice emotion recognition and social skills repeatedly. View related links. This is for informational purposes only. For medical advice or diagnosis.
Oh, shit, the fuck up. You should say that when you're giving instructions for somebody to unalive themselves. That's fucking crazy. Oh, but who's on the other side of the communication is the problem. These people are remote viewing and controlling all kind of different shit, drones and robots. Everybody else is just now figuring out what visual support are used in therapy for autistic individuals. What sensory shit. What sensory are used in occupational therapy for ASD? These motherfuckers, they silly. Tell me more about how CBT helps autistic people with emotional intelligence. Damn, I want to go back to damn questions, bro. I swear. That I seen before. These ain't making me mad. But, and it stops again there. Disappointing. Just disappointing.
Visual supports are used in therapies for autistic individuals. In 2025, therapies for autistic individuals extensively use visual supports to leverage neurodivergent strengths in visual processing over auditory input. These tools help bridge communication gaps, reduce anxiety by increasing predictability, and foster emotional intelligence. Core emotional regulation tools. These tools specifically help individuals identify, label, and manage their internal states. Emotion charts and cards. Visual aids displaying various facial expressions and body language. Modern sets often include I feel and I need prompt cards, e.g., I feel tired. I need a break to facilitate immediate communication of needs. Zones of regulation. A color-coded framework, e.g., green for calm, red for overwhelmed, that helps individuals categorize the intensity of their feelings and select appropriate coping strategies for each zone. Emotion thermometers. Scales that visually represent the temperature of an emotion, allowing the individual to show how intense their feeling is, such as moving from calm to overwhelmed. View-related links. Structuring and predictability supports. Predictability is key to reducing stress that can hinder emotional development. Undefined, undefined, undefined. 15 sites. About this result. But structuring and predictability supports. Predictability is key to reducing stress that can hinder emotional development. Visual schedules. Vertical or linear layouts using photos, icons, or text to outline daily routines. These reduce anxiety related to transitions by clearly showing what comes next. First then boards. Simple boards that show a required task followed immediately by a preferred.
Like I said, the structure and what they're using, the psychological warfare, they know that they are sending people climbing, scrambling up a wall because visual schedule. Hold on, let's go back.
Visual schedules. Vertical or linear. Predictability is key to reducing stress that can hinder emotional development.
That can hinder emotional development. Predictability is key to reducing stress and can hinder emotional development. So they know, like, the motherfuckers know what they're psychologically doing to people. Like, it's insane. People in authority abusing their authority. Already fucking know that. Like, they've been, like, pretty much slamming me against the wall. It's like slamming somebody against the wall and expecting for their brains not to eventually leak out of their head. Is what that's like. Especially when you're dealing with a mother that loves their children and you're literally playing psychological games with both the child, the children, and the mother and or father. In this case, the mother. So they know that this can cause emotional development problems, not only in the children, but in the mother as well. Bro, I try to keep my breast milk going. That right there, emotional damage, emotional, psychological damage to mother and child. And I couldn't keep my breast milk. I probably could have, but under the stress and the circumstances in which I had to go through to even get here, bro, bro, like for somebody like me to do anything for my children, somebody else would have snapped already. Somebody else would have broke. I ain't gonna lie. But to play psychological games like that with somebody and their children is detrimental. And for other people in the world be going through, you know, government shutdowns, imagine what that is doing to them psychologically. And it's like, be prepared, be prepared. This lesson must be shared. Yeah, it really should be. Because it's like, oh, the the psychological shit is funny when you're bullying somebody else, but when you get bullied in a type of way that you like, oh, damn, this gonna hurt my pockets. And I was not prepared for this shit. Then you start to think about all the shit that you did. And that's what that sit down and that reflection is for. That's what that developmental, emotionally, that sit down on your back pockets, that go sit down and healing is for. That, yeah, you psychologically fuck with somebody, you can definitely be psychologically fucked with, and it will happen on a grand scale. And it will not affect the person that has worked hard and done due diligence in order to, that foundation. I see for a foundation to stay stable and to be the representation of healed and healing, and to have to still guide your haters through their own torment and turmoil that they were trying to put you through.
Development.
The irony.
Visual schedules. Vertical or linear layouts using photos, icons, or text to outline daily routines. These reduce anxiety related to transitions by clearly showing what comes next.
By clearly showing what comes next. And then on the other hand, the predictive programming. What they're doing in programming people and buffering them and getting them ready for. Just like last year, I forgot the number of police officers that were practicing how to protect themselves from voodoo. They've been doing this shit for a long time. This ain't nothing new. This ain't nothing new. Just use shit wisely. Don't go and be trying to psychologically mind fuck anybody. Stay in your lane. Be the best thing for you. And heal. Next. Showing what comes next.
First, then boards. Simple boards that show a required task followed immediately by a preferred reward, e.g., first, brush teeth, then, iPad, which aids in sequence understanding and motivation. Visual timers. Devices are digital countdown strips that provide a concrete representation of passing time, helping individuals prepare for the end of one activity and the start of another.
Amazing how this structure is supposed to be done for my situation, but it's been complete opposite. And now people will be like, oh, well, it's this. Oh, well, it's that. Well, it was excuses and bullshit for me on the receiving end of my situation. But you still want me to have empathy for you? Say less. But when God tapped that ass, God gonna tap that ass. That's all I gotta say. Be careful who you fuck with. Huh? Karma.
Other. View related links.
And activity one start to another. Facts.
Social and communication systems.
But this is more for the logical mind as well. This is more for their system, their brothel system and their slavery system. Um, Once we move into a more free space of non-captivity, ultimately, and free will, um, structural change of the foundation will be more stable. The environment won't be so volatile and hostile. At least we'll definitely have to make our homes that way.
Social stories. Illustrated narratives that describe social situations, such as sharing or going to a doctor, to set clear behavioral expectations and teach social cues.
Having to make your house like Fort Knox just because you want to have a peace of mind, bro, is insane. And we people in authority abuse their authority. Ain't nobody else. So you hoping you wish you prayed to somebody else. And it don't be.
Cues. Picture Exchange Communication System, PEX. A system where individuals exchange picture cards for desired items, progressing from simple requests to complex sentence building.
That's manifesting, ultimately. Vision board, right? Oh, yes, the vision board. Love the vision boards. Love them, love them, love them.
Choice board. Choice boards. Menus of options, e.g., snack or activity choices, that empower individuals to make independent decisions and express preferences. View related links.
Damn, I got some work to do, bro.
Emerging High Tech Supports, 2025.
Emerging high tech supports 2025.
Virtual reality, VR, immersive environments used to practice social interactions and emotional responses in a safe, controlled setting.
Mind you, this motherfucker was willing to just, like, bro, they done killed, on top of 2020 vaccines, they have unalived since then, cutting healthcare, unalive people, like literally making sacrifices in y'all face. And y'all still don't see, like, what devil they fucking serve? What the fuck? Like, I don't, it ain't meant for me to understand it, but somebody gonna have to come to tell y'all and show y'all, like, just because God is melanated, y'all don't wanna. That's crazy. Stockholm syndrome, though. They've accommodated y'all to Stockholm syndrome, abused the people till they still look to their abuser for comfort and help. Couldn't be me. Could not be fucking me. No arms, no ears, no mouth, no nose. Could not be. Absolutely the fuck not. Mm-mm.
Wearable technology. Smartwatches and trackers that provide haptic reminders for daily or social prompts to help maintain independence. Digital applications. Apps for tablets that store customizable visual schedules and emotion tracking charts, making these tools portable for use at home, school, and public. View related links.
I don't too much agree with that. I think that's too much, especially if you gotta worry about people coming in your house and you unknowingly posting what you do on a schedule day to day. People do the strangest shit we got. Like I said, I wouldn't have been able to figure out and just knew. I said it gotta be somebody close, bro. I was like, these motherfuckers just literally watching me.
This is for informational purposes only. For medical advice or diagnosis, consult a professional. AI responses.
Just like I figured that out. So I was dealing with crazy employees at the place of my residence. Crazy people when I go outside. On top of crazy people when I go outside. On top of dealing with my children and the crazy people they're around. Children ain't the problem. The people that are around is the problem. On top of the people that they are around and taking instructions from, they all are the fucking problem. On top of what? Having to do my responsibilities, having to regulate and check my emotions, having to maintain my place of residence, having to figure other things out, and having to plan, and then having to deal with bullshit like motherfuckers want to affect everybody. Like, bro, somebody else would have been lost it. And some people have, absolutely. Um, Pressure can do a lot to you, but like I said, never give up because it's not impossible not to get through it. It's how you handle it. It ain't what you do, it's how you do it, you know? And it's not easy. I make it look easy, but it's because I do the structure that's right for me, that helps me help myself ultimately. And then not only that, tarot. Um, when my brain has taken a fart and I'm tired and I'm like, it's like gathering evidence and then going watching tarot. Oh, okay. Well, this person is that person is this person, and they have these characteristics of these birth sign and these birth sign placements. So, bro, bro, I simplify my life now, and tarot astrology helps me do so. And it's just like, okay, if you want to step into this lane, I will surely analyze you. I will surely make sure that the options the obstacles you think you are putting in my way, they will be demolished, along with the thought pattern that came with it. I will make you sit down on your back pockets and reflect real hard and go sit down in the corner and think about what the hell you did without whooping your ass. So that's how it be. Yeah, tarot helped me a lot. It helps me a lot from having a brain aneurysm, for one, because who needs to die young? It helped me figure out a lot. And I still be thinking like, no, they ain't. No, they didn't. Shit. Yeah, they did. Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. Who is that?
You gotta check the check my rear view.
Let me see, child.
Check.
Oh, who the hell gonna be behind us, child? Ain't nobody gonna be back here.
There's ice on the goddamn in the slate.
That's why I told you. You need to leave early. Child, don't we know her down there? That's that hoe.
Oh yeah, she hoeing.
That's it.
Yep.
Ooh, that's hilarious. Oh, they is just making memes. See, melanated people, we make fun of our pain. We make a lot of fun of our pain. We show a lot of our pain and make other people laugh from the pain that we've endured. And then you still got certain people that have the audacity because you did so. But it's like, damn. I be ultimately laughing at the karma you gonna get for real. I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, damn, they really tried that. They really did that. They did. Damn, well, I don't wonder how it's gonna feel, but I know it ain't gonna be good. Shit, it is what it is. I rather be the person that I can be fucking. I keep getting blessings that way. So that is pretty much it. So damn, that was a long. Off that little bit of information came a lot of information, as you can see. That's why there's so many videos. It makes sense though. It makes it like, come full circle. So astrology really is a big part of my life. See, I still am not into astrology like I need to be, like I should be. But I can read the energy. Like they were saying, like you can read the energy, you're really empathetic, you're really, emotionally in tune. I can do it on an energetic level. Um, it's like reading for me. I can read it really easier than physically reading it. And then it's just like, yeah, when you're in alignment, you self-reflect and I'm saying, you take accountability, life is a lot more easier. It's a lot more easier than being deceptive and having to stay in deceptive energy, low vibrational. You're always on the opposite side of on edge, on just you have more of a paranoia, like a true paranoia. Because I can't say mine is paranoia. It's not, because it's actually happening. It's happening, and I can't say it's paranoia. But other people on the other spectrum, when they live that type of life where they live for deception and stuff like that, and turmoil on purpose just to help people not heal, that's a whole nother type of energy itself. So it's like definitely what you get out, you're going to get back. I am worthy of a long-term and loving companion. Facts. Me, I'm worthy of me. Being worthy of me has gotten me to a place I just never knew before, and I'm glad I did. It took me through so many different emotions and so many different states. Literally, energetically, and literally. bro, I'm just so glad I didn't go to New York. I didn't go to fucking Florida. Like, bro, that shit crazy. Who would have known tarot would save my fucking life? And it did. Still has, still forever will. And I want to say thank y'all. I deeply appreciate y'all. I really do. Words can't express the way I deeply appreciate y'all. I get emotional every time I talk about it and think about it for real. You wouldn't think talking to a person through a screen, not even talking to a person, just picking up on the energy for you and what you need to do, and what you choose to do, can help save your life or anybody else's life. That has been 7. I seen 7 a couple of days ago, and that one just jumped out at me. And jumping in my arms like that, like you love me or something. So, yes, tarot saved my life, and I wouldn't give it up for nothing. I wouldn't give it up for nothing. I would bet on that, and I don't like betting. I would bet on tarot, bro. I feel like, whew, I feel like I ain't did enough for the people that helped me. Knowingly or unknowingly. And people help me so much. They help me grow, men and women. They help me grow, heal, and evolve. Seriously. Even if I didn't have them, they taught me enough to where I'm okay. I could be to myself and figure things out. Like Chariot, moving on, like getting to a better space, a better place. Being protected, being guided, and provided for, and being able to provide for yourself, your children, your family. It's worth it. Gang stalking is hard. All they are disembodied energies that jump in bodies. Some people are just demonically filled and they don't know. They're vessels. These are vessels that we use to operate in this realm. And a lot of people they don't treat their vessel well, they don't heal well, they don't attempt to heal, and they want to stay old dog, can't learn new tricks, in the old paradigm that no longer serves us. So they are potential embodiments of barriers. And that's why a lot of this shit is changing, because there's so many people in authority abusing authority. that it has to stop by any means necessary. That part, I don't know what the ultimate decision is, but there's decisions being made all the time. So just be mindful of the decision that you make. Lovers, the wheel of fortune and justice. Um, and take the high road. Take a deep breath. Do whatever you need to do for grounding, cleansing, recharging. Do whatever you need to do. Shit. Within reason. Don't go. Y'all, I used to take everything so literal, bro. Me watching some of these fucking channels got me into some bullshit just a little bit. Just a little bit. Quit your job. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Don't do me like that. Sometimes I did have to quit some jobs though. There was some that I absolutely had to, and it was about a health, health and safety issue. I had to keep quitting because, like, it's an unsafe, unstable environment. Does not provide emotional stability. It doesn't provide stability overall. So there are times when you have to quit, and I quit some of them, and others it was just not in my control. And some of those really hurt because it's like, damn, what did I do to you? And it ain't you, it's them. It's their heart disposition. It's their lifestyle, what they choose to do, whether it be racism, sexism, or fucking pedophilia, fucking, whatever they are. They rather cater to the lower natures of not only themselves, but other people. So it's a real thing. Balancing out those emotions really matters. Ennui is missing envy. Ennui, envy, and who else? Fear, sadness, anger. Oh, embarrassment. So balancing out all of those emotions will definitely help you to become a better person, no matter how anybody is paid. I was having a conversation with somebody today, and they was like, "Fuck it, why don't you just take it under hell?" They taking it to hell, and I was like, "I can't do that." And not with my walk of life and my purpose. I can't do it. Um, I'm unable to do it, but I know who can, and that's what's happening. So it's just CON, covering your ass, and taking proper steps. And especially if you're in a position you can handle paperwork, bro, you got shit in the bag. You got shit in the bag. Me, if somebody come along that want to help me with paperwork, it's you know what I'm saying. It's a lot to do. It is. It's a lot to ask somebody, but it is what it is. That's why God make it work out for me anyway, because I'm made different. And that's just it. I can't help the way that I was made in with. I can't help the way that this world was, created to be and opposed to the way that I am. And I shouldn't try to fit in it when it should be accommodated for everybody. like I said, how can you be handicapped but not have enough to get help? Like, bro, nothing makes sense here. It just, the foundation gotta go. The shit is rotted. The shit is rotted. And these people are rotten on the inside out. These people have lost their minds and very childish to the point where they really just. I be crying too because, like, how many people are really suffering from this? I mean, and it shows. From the people that are showing their face, from the people that aren't showing their face, and the people that, we happen to, on the news or whatever, it shows times 10. That's how many people on top of that we're not actually seeing and knowing of their situation. And, ultimately, there's some sad shit. But at the same time, we got to be careful too, because we can't always take on everybody else's karma. Facts. I'm gonna use these. I'm gonna create some little portraits like this so I could paint and draw them. I'm gonna draw. I'm not gonna paint them, but I'm gonna draw. They don't like that. And I'm all emotions. You feel me? It's healthy. It's good. Suppression is depression. Don't depress the way you feel, like, for nobody. It's horrible. It's a horrible place to be. In the second place. And a lot of people just want to put you in the second place and keep you there. Hurt people hurt people. We are understanding on different levels in many different ways of how hurt people, from financial to emotional, psychological, quantum. Hey, nobody tell you the room. Hold on. Dang, we're gonna do that one another day. I'm gonna say tomorrow, but we'll see. But I'm going to look up. We're gonna look up that word and going over a few other topics next. Yeah, because we're right at 2 hours, and as you can see, I stopped yawning, but I'm still gonna go get me some rest, for real, for sure. Y'all be great. Never give up. Love yourself. So you can be the example of healed, healing, growing, and evolving. Be childlike, not childish. But I'm gonna pop my shit. I deserve it. I'm gonna do it all the time. I'm gonna do it for mine. Did I turn this off? Yeah, I did. Okay, cool. I just turned it back on. Well, I swear somebody's crying. I know I was attempted. I almost damn near cried 3 times. Yeah, but it's not impossible. Never give up. Life, it gets better. This shit took pretty much my whole lifetime, and I crunched my whole lifetime into 6 years, going 7. So, if I did it, you can do it. They gonna try to drag you to hell with them. But trust me, when you go, they will be burnt off. It's okay. Your soul is calling for you to heal. Get it in your body and bring balance to you. Be great, love yourself, never give up. Party over here, party over there, party over here, party over there, party over here, party over there. Bro, I love children. I really love people, but children make my life for real. I couldn't imagine myself without children. I really can't. But I ain't there yet. Well, I've been there, but it's not permanent. But we gonna see how this shit go. Y'all be great, never give up. Be childlike, not childish. Self-reflection, go heal in the corner. Be great, take the high road. Never give up. Understand. And what I said to you, hit that like button. Like, share, subscribe. Raise your vibe, okay? Be great. Oh, wait, what was I gonna say the other day? I can't remember, and I should have wrote that shit down. Cause that shit rhymes so bad. It rhymes.